Sitting here having breakfast and uploading a video. Who should show up but Matthew? Stop being so tall, Matthew. That's better. Yeah. Oh, we need another chair. What's going on, brother? Anyways, we're doing breakfast here. What happened to your last girl?
I think so.
I'm not putting that on YouTube. Sandra Bullock.
Huh?
Sandra Bullock.
I'm not putting that on YouTube.
Well, weren't you living in Moab with somebody? In the bus, I think, when I talked to you. You still staying in Moab then?
Still spending the summer in Moab.
It's pretty hot there, man.
It gets hot, but I like it hot. No rain.
That's true. It's a desert. It is a desert. I hope mine never gets to looking like that. Yeah. Or sounding like that either. Shall we? Matthew's got a really weird problem with this bike. We don't know if we're going to be able to figure it out. We're going to try. Sportster, huh? Noisy little fucker. It's a noisy little bastard. He's a mule. There it is. The bike you had when I met you. Kind of wearing it out now. You know, we tried to figure out what this is.
Yeah,
what he's got.
It doing or not doing?
What he's got is, for some reason, the belt wants to walk off the front pulley. And I called 3 of my mechanic friends, and they own shops, and none of them knows why.
Yeah.
So what he's had to do, he's had to kick the back wheel sideways to make it stay on. So the idea would be probably that something's out of alignment. But Matthew put a straight edge, took the shock off, and put it all the way across both of them, and was real meticulous about it. And he tells me they're both straight dead on. So that's a mystery. So my thought would be, well, I've got a ridge on this front pulley.
Yeah.
It's worn into a ridge here.
That's probably
And it's bigger on the inside. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. And this is a mystery problem. Nobody knows, but it gets bigger. Took a finger of mine that's straight.
No, it shouldn't do that.
Gets bigger right there. It's worn.
Even across.
But the thing is, Bill, is it's a mystery problem.
Yeah.
The guys who I called are guys who own Harley shops. They work on Harleys all day, and they're not dealerships. They're like friends of mine that have been doing this for years.
Tell them the gearing thing.
They're all not sure either.
Yeah.
So it's a mystery, and we can't figure it out. He's got the back wheel cocked sideways. If it was mine, I'd look into changing the pulleys first and see, especially if a straight edge shows that they're in line.
Yeah.
I'd change the pulleys first and see what happened. For those of you who don't know, okay? The rear pulleys have a hard casing on them. I think it's chrome. And when it's chipping off, it's not a big deal. Mine's chipping off on my bike right now. But once it comes all the way off and they hit the aluminum, the belt starts to ride on the aluminum, like that one's pretty far off, right?
Yeah.
He's got some, because we're spinning the wheel around, that are completely gone. Once it does that, then the pulley wears out like that. Once it hits the aluminum. That's why you never want to buy aftermarket pulleys for these, because the one, but you guys remember I did tires all them years, right? So I seen all this shit come in. So like on the choppers with the fancy aftermarket pulleys, they'd last 10,000. I'd be like, this thing's shot. The guy's got like it's got 10,000. Once the belt hits the aluminum, it goes real quick. So if you ever buy a front pulley, sometimes they'll try to sell you an aluminum one, but those are steel. You always get a steel one. And the rear one, just go with stock. So he's gonna have to work this out later. Right now, he's still able to ride the bike.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute, isn't he? I
Put
wouldn't
the
go
bike-
out chasing women with you,
Put
because I wouldn't
over
catch
there and
nothing.
put the bikes behind you.
They'd be all over you, tall, dark, handsome.
Their mother, they're around.
Their mom. It's come to that. How the fuck did I get here?
They have
You
all
got
the-
both of us in there?
Yes.
You sure you don't just have the wall?
Come on. Come, come have a look.
She likes to shoot the wall. We
No,
sweat
at
through
least
that.
it's clean and new,
It's a
not
clean
like
wall. The
some-
wall ain't that clean.
no. Come and have a look.
So you, I don't remember if I made any videos with you in there, but you didn't speak a lot of English, did you?
10 years ago.
10 years ago. How long did it take you to learn to speak English so well?
Still working on it.
Oh, you're pretty good, though.
Probably
I
5
could
years.
pretty much talk to you. Well, you were living here, huh?
5 years, I guess.
French Canadian. But what we want to hear is this story about how you ended up here, buddy.
So 10 years ago, I found his YouTube channel, and it was a big motivation to do the same thing, which I've been doing for 10 years. Well, in a different ways, but my own ways, but similar. Moving around, escaping the cold, and motorcycles here and there, and camping, and lots of fishing, lots of fishing.
This is what you told me in Sturgis, first year you showed up.
Okay, let's see.
You said, see if it's right, because you didn't speak English that well back then. You told me you was at work, and you was watching my videos, and you told your coworkers, I'm quitting my job, I'm gonna get on my motorcycle, I'm gonna go find this guy, and 2 weeks later you were in Sturgis with us.
That's about
That's
it.
from Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's from Montreal, yeah?
That's about it. That's what happened.
But then you stayed, and you've done some other stuff. You stay out in Moab a lot.
Spend a lot of time in Moab. I like the desert. A lot of time in Baja.
Are you glad that you did it?
Yeah.
That's a question. You know what I mean? A lot of guys want to like hit the road and stuff, but that was 10 years ago. So do you regret it?
You know, what I've come to learn, I guess, 3 years ago, is that it didn't matter whatever I did with my life. I always feel the same inside.
That's true.
And I had to go away, and do all these things to realize that there's nothing you can do to get away from yourself. Because that goes everywhere with you.
That's so true. No matter where you go, there you are. It's what
And
they say.
then I guess it took 7 years to realize that, and then it's just, I don't know, wherever I am, it's great. I enjoy being warm and the adventure and all that stuff, but I know that why I started it, and it was to try to avoid a feeling, but you can't run away from your feeling. It doesn't matter if you, and even the motorcycle and all that stuff, that provides you that freedom. I believe you can get that even if you're in a jail cell and you have nothing and no freedom. It's just in your mind. It's in your mind.
I've heard that, but I disagree with that one because I totally agree that no matter where you go, there you are, for sure. But I also have found that when I'm living in situations that really don't agree with me, it brings my spirit down, bro. When I was staying in San Diego and living there for all them years, when I got back to the city, it really brought me down. So, but I notice you ain't gone back to Montreal. You're down here to run into him in the street. He just happens to be here. We didn't even know we were both here, right? So I have noted that. You can. There came a point when I realized I was depressed when I was living a life that depressed me. That was my experience.
No.
Not that I can't get depressed doing this, but just to, like I was going to work, coming home, paying some bills, and you know, getting out for a ride once in a while. Good for a lot of people, but for me, it didn't work. You ain't gone back to Montreal, I noticed.
Because I haven't found the solution yet to not get that. I guess I could put depressed on that feeling. Whatever that feeling is, it's just not fun feeling to live with. And it goes away when my life's exciting. When the crazier my life is.
And then when they just sit,
yes, but I think that the answer is, I think that's avoiding our feelings by living a crazy life. Not that there's nothing wrong with living a crazy life, I'm still doing it. But right now I'm all about fishing and stuff. It's like, okay, let's take this. 10 years ago when I met you, I thought that living on my motorcycle, living outside in a tent, and working less than 6 months a year and never seeing the winter again would be the sum of happiness in life. But once I reached there, then I wanted something else. And then once I reached that, I wanted something else. And now here I'm down here, it's 10 years later, and I'm all about going killing fish, and it's gotta be dangerous, and I gotta kill the biggest fish, and once I kill the biggest fish, I wanna kill the bigger fish, and then it's always like, you never really get away from that feeling that wants you to do more, or to accomplish, it's always over there. I keep doing it because it works, but I'm at the stage where I'm aware that it's not the answer, it's only abandoned.
You know,
And it took all these years to realize it.
You know, although not religious, I have been involved in a spiritual thing for a long, long time. That's the other thing that I personally have found that helps that. That's because I get what you're talking about. When I used to take off in the summers, when I came back into San Diego, as I came down that mountain into the city, I could just feel the nervousness of the city. Within 2 weeks, and everybody's running around, I'd be just like them, and I began to realize that when I left that atmosphere, I was a lot more mellow, man. Do you know what guys used to tell me? I'd leave San Diego and I'd come back, they'd say, oh, you're just running. They'd tell me, you're just running. I'm like, this is my take on it. I'm like, well, when I go out there, I really love my life. When I come back here, I really hate it. So, that's all I know, man.
Yeah.
I really like it better out there. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, no matter where you go, there you are, but I wouldn't be able to be okay in prison. You know what I mean?
Me neither, but I believe that it's a possible thing to achieve.
Somebody might be able to, but it ain't gonna be me, man. Not that I don't have all the, you know, times when I ain't okay, like spiritually or emotionally or whatever you want to call it.
But isn't it that same exact feeling on a smaller scale?
Well, I don't know that it goes away completely, you know? It's kind of part of being human. But yeah, I don't have it too much. In my case, dude, taking a real interest in the spiritual thing is the other part. I was doing that before I was on the road full time. And there came a point when that wasn't enough anymore. And I realized I was living a life that depressed me, right? And I had to change my life. So, coming out here may not make me happy all the time, but going back there makes me fucking miserable. That's all I know. That's all I know, man.
Yeah.
You know, the big cities, man, I don't like to see big cities too much anymore. I avoid them a lot.
I can't do it either. That's why I'm in my tiny little town in the desert, and then in Mexico.
Still got the same Sportster.
Same bike, 8 years.
Same bike, huh? Anyways, so that's Matthew's take on it. He speaks pretty good English now. And with that, you guys, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to put some flyers on here, remind you about the Gypsy Jean Cancer Run, which is coming up May 15th through the 17th in southern Mississippi. I think it's like 80 miles north of New Orleans. And if I don't see you there, well, I'll see you on the next video.